The reason we started this nonprofit is because globally, every second we produce equivalent of 20,000 plastic bottles, water bottles, per second. And 90% of those bottles and that plastic is not actually recycled. It ends up in the environment, and most of it's single-use plastic, so it's crazy. Like, why are we doing this? So we formed it to essentially help transition our economy from this single-use economy to a circular economy where things are recycled and reused. And to do that, our nonprofit called Mycelium is actually building and distributing open source machines that convert plastic waste into useful goods. Most of it involving cutting down plastic and turning it into plastic string that 3D printers use. And so then with a 3D printer, you can just kind of turn your ideas into something useful. And everything we learn, we distribute through our initiative to support public outreach, resources, and education, or SPORE. So through SPORE, we teach classes on 3D printing. We teach people essentially how to turn these ideas into something they can hold in their hand. Mainly because 3D printing is essentially a superpower. It allows people to turn their ideas into these products locally at home and then share them with the world. And so by combining the recycling of plastic and 3D printing, we think we can empower people to kind of turn their ideas into reality using plastic waste at home. Surprisingly, one of our members, for example, just bought a 3D printer, starting one for about $120. So the price, just like flat screen TVs, is just dropping to the floor, and the capabilities are going up. And so you'd be surprised, but if you don't have access to that, we actually donated a 3D printer to Calvary Hill Library and some filament material. So anybody who doesn't have one, they can get things printed there for free as long as they have this material, as long as it lasts, which should be another year. So you can print things for free at Calvary Hill Library. 3D printing is essentially a superpower, and I and people in this group really want other people to have access to this, to where instead of thinking, oh, I'm going to go purchase this thing, it was made in China, there's all these miles associated and waste, you can just take an idea, send it to this machine, and it just kind of wields it into existence and you hold it. And so we really want people to be able to create their own products at home, because it's not only more efficient, but it's just empowering. We're definitely gearing it towards the beginners and the people who've never seen it before. For those experts out there, we definitely want you to help with our research projects through Mycelium, but we're definitely going to do some classes that are more advanced, targeted to them. But for the most part right now, it's for beginners just like you. If you want to learn how these fancy robotic hot glue guns can make things, we can teach you. Some of the projects we're working on, for example, one of them through UAH, where we're building smart trash cans that automatically identify what goes in it and sorts it accordingly. And so we're going to build these open source. They're going to be probably less than $200 each, so that we encourage people around the world to build these trash cans. So nobody has to think about it. Just put your trash in there, it'll automatically recycle and sort it. So those kind of systems will be combined with systems like a public 3D printing kiosk that you walk up to, get things printed. Anybody can walk up to and use and get things 3D printed at, and if you can't afford it, you deposit plastic as a payment. And so these will be for like third world countries and places covered in plastic. And so all these projects are very kind of technically complex, but it's perfect for a town like Huntsville, where we have all this engineering talent. So if we can combine these minds, the same ones that took us to the moon, you know, I guess the next generation of minds, then I think, you know, we can literally begin to transition our economy away from throw it away and be done with it to put it in this machine, it'll recycle it back into something else I use. So you can turn your let's say a bracelet into a phone case, into flip-flops, into a cup, back into a bracelet. We try to host them at least 3 times a month. We're trying to do weekly classes. We're looking for any kind of support and resources to help fund it, because we want to start to establish classes not only here in Huntsville and not only at these local libraries, but begin establishing different chapters to teach 3D printing at different cities across Alabama and at different states across the country. So we're trying to spread this knowledge of 3D printing, so essentially everyone starts 3D printing.